Hey guys, welcome to Geek, and it's unfortunately it's just me and John today for.
Yeah, it stinks. It's just me.
It's all right. We love you here, John. So John, who is the writer of Heroic Tales. I got a link to his comic book on the comment section right now.
Yep.
If you want to go check it out, he has really cool flip like one of those 90s flip comic books you used to see in the 90s newsstand. Let me show it to you.
Like there, and then you flip it over, and then there's another cover.
Yeah.
This is the cover. The reason why I did that is Heroic Tales is broken into two complete stories, and I love both characters. So I was like, who gets on the cover? And then I made variant covers. And then I'm like, do I really want to just make people buy, because everybody's a completionist when it comes to comics. I'm like,
yeah.
So they're going to spend another full price, $10 for just a cover. So I put the back cover as the front cover. So you flip it over, you decide which one is your favorite cover and whatever. But so that's going to be my working system for Heroic Tales. If it's a 2-character issue, because some stories might be longer and be the whole thing, then I'm just going to have like a flip cover. It's complete. Every issue is two complete stories. So, I feel with crowdfunding, making people wait multiple months, in between issues, it's a big ask. People lose interest, but, and then this way, if somebody new just happens to buy issue 2, they get a complete enjoyable story, and then maybe they'll get issue number 1. But they all build on each other like comics used to. So I'm hoping, it's all leading to something. I hope everybody, if you read them in order, you'll appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah. All right. So if you're interested, go to Fund My Comics and look up Heroic Tales. He still has the Heroic Tales issue 1, which introduces the patriarch. And this one introduces Mary Sue, right?
Yes. So this issue number 1 is introducing the patriarch, and then it introduces like one of his main villains.
Mm-hmm.
And then issue number 2, it continues the story of the patriarch, and then introduces Mary Sue. And then issue number 3 is going to introduce the Raven and continue Mary Sue. So that might be my format, is do 2 stories with each character. And then because my next crowdfund is going to be Patriarch number 1. And it's going to be his origin. It's going to be right now it's up to 48 pages. Might go to 52 pages. Because of the printing, it has to be multiples of 4.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be 48 pages. And this is 40 pages, $10. It's already here. I think it's the best deal in crowdfunding. A couple of people got mad at me that I'm charging so little. It's like, dude, you do you. I'm doing me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going to the big. I mean, there are some things I want to talk about in comics right now, and it's basically comes with the more comics. Marvel 1776, Marvel Spider-Man Torn, which is actually good. I love that J. Michael Straczynski is back on Spider-Man. Transformers 26. I was going to talk about Godzilla versus Ninja Turtles, but I forgot to get it. And of course, DCKO. Now, I know you're not into the modern comic book scene, but there was this one panel. The whole thing about Marvel 1776 is that some heroes were selected by Doctor Strange because Morgan Le Fay was actually released, and she helped the British win the war, the Revolutionary War. But one of the things that like Wes brought this up, and let me show you. He and Doctor Strange made brought together a team between Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Hulk, and Invisible Woman, and they go back to the past to actually help the Revolutionary War. But this was brought in, and I cannot believe J. Michael Straczynski brought this in. It's an entire discussion about colonialism.
Of course, it's modern Marvel. Let me guess. Were you the bad guys?
Yeah. Bruce has talked about would it be a bad idea if the British won? Because he looks at former colonies like Australia and Canada, and he says how slavery was abolished faster also talks about how slavery was abolished faster in Britain than it was in the Americas. And I'm like, dude, seriously?
So because America's the colonizers, we should let the people who did the colonizing win?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what they're talking about, the push out west, the push to the west of the Native Americans, and
they do realize that the Sioux people today still practice slavery. The Crow Indians still practice slavery. When I was in Albuquerque, I lived by the Indian reservations, and that's one of the things I talked about is they buy and sell women from other tribes. So go figure. Look at the non-Western world. There's more slaves today than there's ever been in the history of the world. Omar Gaddafi warned Obama, said, "You bomb me, they're going to be selling slaves in the streets." And you could go on Google Maps and see open air slave markets in Libya right now because we got rid of the Western influences. So this is just, and from J. Michael Straczynski, what are you doing? Do you believe this? Or are you currying favor with the current audience? Or were you told to do this by, either way, it just affirms my belief that I'm done with Marvel. The colonists. Name one civilization in the history of the world that didn't colonize and move someplace else. It's mass migrations in the history of the world, which is why we're seeing it right now. It happens. Large groups of people move over and displace the indigenous people all the time. Sorry, Indians, you needed to fight better. If you weren't so interested in fighting each other, and you united, you would have made it not cost effective for us to stay in the United States, and you would have had your own country. And then, congratulations, you'd be living to the ripe old age of 38, dying of disease, whatever.
Yeah. When I heard that J. Michael Straczynski this is like supposed to be a fun Marvel romp where superheroes from today are going back in time to make sure history happens. And it's like, did you have to bring that up? I mean, I did not like Black Panther Wakanda Forever when they brought this up. Hell, the Aztec Batman is so far the worst reviewed Batman movie in IMDb.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Anytime I hear colonizers and slaves, I'm done. The history of the world has been the history of slavery. It's like, and the word slave comes from Slav, which were white people. It's like, knock it off. Everybody's been slaves. Everybody's been wronged. Everybody's been screwed. Everybody's done the screwing. It's like, knock it off. Knock it off.
Yeah.
What this is making Western civilization ashamed of itself, demoralizing Western civilization, because only Western civilization has the concept of individual liberty and individual rights. That's it. Sorry, the rest of the world, but you didn't come up with that concept. What this is whether J. Michael Straczynski realizes it or Marvel realizes, this is part of the demoralization process to erode the concept of individual liberty and individual rights. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you remember there's an episode of King of the Hill where Bobby was chosen to help run a carnival, but instead he gets settled with this college professor who is basically telling him to be ashamed of your own ancestry, and he decides to cancel the carnival and make it like, oh, you got an entire auditorium, like assembly where where he's talking about people should be ashamed of their ancestry, and everything just went pear-shaped from there.
Hmm.
And his dad and Hank actually told him, you're 13, you shouldn't be worried about this.
Yeah, but only white people. Well, it's not just white people. Only Western civilization should be ashamed of the past. The same people that gave us music, symphonies, took us to the moon. Vaccines, computers, technology, the automobile. All the things that make life worth living. We should be ashamed. It's not knock it off. I've been saying it since the '90s, and it's funny because I've seen people that I haven't spoken to in 20 years coming around to my way of thinking, and now they're like, I never said you were a jerk. Yes, you did. Since the '90s, I said diversity is an attack. Back then, I said white people, but I wasn't savvy enough to realize it's not white people. It's Western thought, Western philosophy, the concept of individual rights and free and individual rights and freedom of individual rights and I can't even and freedom of individual freedom. That's the concept. We got to get everybody loyal to the group. We got to make everybody collectivists. That's what this is. This is a coordinated social engineering to get rid of the individual. That's what it is. And it came from ancient Greece. It spread out throughout Europe. And then from Europe, it came to North America and South America. Didn't take too much of a hold in South America, but it stayed in North America. And that's what this is an attack on. The fact that it happens to be mostly white people is a secondary effect. But, we got to get rid of it. Got to get rid of it. Got to be loyal to something else. We gotta be collectivists. That's all this is.
I mean, I was surprised that it was J. Michael Straczynski that wrote this because he's such a good writer.
He is a good writer, but like again, is this him being told to write this? Is this the way he feels? Is this the editors like? You got to do this to pay your bill. But I'd like to think he needs enough money. He has enough money. He doesn't have to do this kind of stuff. Like, come on, do you think when we finally do erode the concept of individual rights and individual freedom, that your life is going to be any better, J. Michael? You're going to be one of the good ones? No, like all these kids, like my buddy's friend is my buddy's daughter is like socialism. I'm going to work in a garden and stuff like that. It's like you guys have this half-assed concept of communism and socialism. It's the people control the profits, the businesses, the means of production. And they're like, we own everything. But you don't understand. That's 50% of it. The other 50% is the people to make all the decisions, not the person. So you guys want, I own all the business. We own all the businesses. Down with the landlords. I'm going to do this. No, the people decide what you do. And do you think that the people are going to decide that you get to do poetry on the beach? No, you're going to be working in the mine. Odds are you're going to be doing grunt work because you don't get to decide what you do.
Yeah.
The people decide what you do. Congratulations, you're screwed.
Yeah, I just thought about you bringing up socialism. I just thought about this one, like political streamer right now who's in China, and his name is Hassan Piker, and he's like the left-leaning version of what's his name? The loud guy who thinks dumping chemicals in the water makes a pretty frog. Yeah, he's like a left-leaning version of it, only he shocks his dogs. Yeah,
that's how I found out about him.
Yeah, but this guy's in China right now, and he is giving them the biggest blowjob. I swear his knees are probably sore by now. He's gonna need knee pads because he most likely has micro. They went through his hotel room. They detained him because he had a meme of their leader. They detained his friends, and he is doing so many stupid shit that people are like, "Are you even sure you're doing this for political freedom?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it is for political freedom." I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's like,
all I know about him is he shocked his dog. That's the first time I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I have a real job and I have real friends, and I don't spend that much time on YouTube. So these Hassans, and there's another guy right now that everybody's talking. Whenever I'm invited on stream, they always ask me about him, and I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. But this guy I knew shocked his dog. He sounds like a useful idiot. You know, where does his ass sit? You know, like I always say to people, I don't care what your mouth says. I say I listen to your ass. And where does Hassan Piker's ass sleep at night? Like I got a friend of mine who diversity. As soon as this kid went to kindergarten, white couple, Irish descent. As soon as his little Irish redheaded baby went to school, and he was the only white kid in the school, they packed up out of Queens and moved upstate New York to a 99% Republican white community. And he's still talking about diversity. I said, I don't care what your mouth is saying. Your ass says Republican because that's where you sleep at night. You pulled your kid out of a diverse Queens Democrat school district and put him in a nice, safe, white Republican school. And he goes, well, John, the property taxes were low. The school had good ratings. I said, again, do you hear what your ass is here? Your mouth is saying this, but your ass is in this community. I said, now vote your ass, not your mouth. So again, what is this guy? Where is Hassan Piker's living? Where does he stay? Where does he sleep at night?
He sleeps in Beverly Hills.
Okay,
and
so
he's talking about he sleeps in Beverly Hills in a mansion in a like a $1.5 million mansion, and he complains about capitalism.
There you go. So who cares what his mouth says?
Yeah,
that's what his ass says.
Yeah.
Always listen to the ass.
Yeah. So, but let's move on to this one thing about DCKO, and DCKO is going to be a big event. It's kind of like Marvel's Contest of Champions, where they got most of the Marvel heroes and put them together in a tournament. So this was the opening bracket that they shared, and a lot of people. And after the first ever DCKO, where is it? Yeah, here it is. One of the first right here. It was going to be Batman versus Star Sapphire, but you have Superman versus Giganta, Captain Atom versus Power Girl, and it is like the IWGP tournament. So here you got Lobo versus Plastic Man. There were a bunch of one shots in there, because they were all fighting for the heart of Galactus, and so a lot of people were but they just screwed it up because they were when the first solicitations for January came out, they released this one. They released this. Yep. This is going to be a separate event going on right now with Batman, and it's like, okay, so he's leaving the tournament. Is he going to lose or to Star Sapphire, or is he just going to drop out? But no, they actually did the opposite. They actually.
Now, Star Sapphire is like, I can't. I'm talking logically. I mean, I know Batman's got to win because he's Batman, but that's. How does Batman beat a Green Lantern?
Well, this was him in the superhero in the Justice Annihilator 2.0, and the Justice Annihilator was like Bruce's trump card against the entire Justice League. which actually had ways to counter all the members of the Justice League. But like in the close to the end, he dies. And guess who killed him?
Who?
Hang on, let me bring it up. It was the Joker. The Joker killed Batman.
Well, he didn't kill Batman because this is a what if story, so it doesn't matter. So who cares?
Actually, it's current DC event going on right now.
Right. So yeah, Batman's dead. I believe it. Totally, I believe it. It's not a trick. It's not. He's not going to come back. This is one of the reasons why I'm tired of modern comics. Batman's not dead, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fall for this nonsense. Yeah. Batman's not dead. Batman can't beat the Justice League. Batman's just a guy in a suit. He's got a cloth costume, and if he's got kryptonite, you're going to tell me Superman who can see around the world, he can hear Jupiter. You can't tell me he can't detect if it, Batman comes walking up to him. It's like, why do you got a lead containment in your? If I was Superman, you got all these sensors going on and stuff like that. Batman comes walking up to you, and one of the cylinders in this compartment is you can't see through it. Batman's like, Superman blows his breath back. You're staying 60 feet away until I see what's in that container.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just love this. Like, Batman can beat anybody. How's Batman going to beat Flash? As soon as he reacts, Flash already punched him 72 times. You know what I mean? Batman can't beat the Justice. In no universe can Batman beat the Justice League. All right, so he's got some yellow boxing gloves. He's going to punch Green Lantern. Maybe if he sucker punches him, you know what I mean? I don't even know if Hal Jordan is still vulnerable to yellow anymore. But that's the only, because Green Lantern's a god. How is he can't beat Wonder Woman. The only way he could beat Aquaman is if, like, they go on a mission to the desert and he waits until Aquaman's like dehydrated. But okay, Batman pulls out the kryptonite. Or Batman's got a kryptonite tooth and he starts to spray the Superman flies backwards at super speed, and then the wind disperses it all, and then he heat visions Batman to death. You have to suspend any disbelief to think that in any universe Batman could beat Superman, even with kryptonite bullets, guns, ray beams, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because at this point, if Superman doesn't believe that Batman is completely paranoid, Superman would have to be retarded to not. Anytime Batman shows up, Superman would have to be like, I got to scan this guy. Yeah. Because all this guy does is plan my death. You know what I mean? If I had a friend, even if we were best friends, and I knew that he had notebooks full of how to kill me, I'm checking this guy, frisking him at the door before he walks into my house. But, that's one of the things about, like, all these Batman fans, like, they drive me nuts. It's like Batman beats everybody because the editors decide that he beats everybody. But, like, in a logical, and I know we're talking about comic books,
Yeah.
And I have an issue 2 of the Patriarch. I have my, Patriarch is a super lesser version of Superman, because I like my superheroes on the weaker side. It gives more drama, attention. Like Superman, Superman's my favorite superhero, but he's too powerful.
Yeah.
I have a Green Lantern type character that I didn't introduce yet. She's not as powerful. She, things like that. But I have a Superman type character fighting the Patriarch, fighting the Raven, a Batman type character. And it's like, there's going to be no editors to decide that he has to win because he's Batman. No, Superman's a god. Batman's a human. Batman, fight your goofy penguin, fight your stupid Joker, never truly defeat them, throw them in jail only for them to escape 9 minutes later. You know what I mean? And then they mass murder another 30 people. Gotham should be a barren wasteland by now. Everybody should leave. I want to tell a story of, like, Gotham is a Democrat-run blue city by bleeding heart liberals, or the only thing is, that judge who just let that guy out 72 times and he lit that woman on fire in Chicago. That's Gotham City. So Batman's not doing anything wrong, beating these people up and putting them in jail. I would love to write a Batman story where Batman just goes nuts and starts beating up judges. You know, it got like, why are you letting these people go? How many times or it's like, okay, you're releasing the Joker, Batman swoops down, knocks Joker unconscious, and releases the Joker in that judge's house. There you go. He's free now, just like you wanted. What are you doing? You deal with it. You're the one who say he can live in society. And then, Batman's outside smoking a cigarette while the Joker or the Penguin or Killer Croc is going nuts on that. There you go. Maybe I'll do that story someday in Heroic Right? Don't get me wrong. I love Superman. I love Batman. I just don't like modern Marvel and DC.
Yeah, but like the whole thing is like, it's going to be, this is all leading to like in February, it's going to be the first crossover between the DC All-In, which is the current DC universe, and the Absolute DC universe, which was a DC universe which was created by Darkseid.
Oh, yeah. Another alternate take of the same characters because we can't do anything original. What if Batman was 6'6" and the blonde hair, was poor and lived in a carnival? Then he ain't Batman. That's another character. Why don't you just name him something else? But no, you don't have any faith in anything new. So you're just swapping a 70-year-old name, putting him on a brand new character because you're creatively bankrupt. You regret having me on yet?
Nah. Trust me. With all the curmudgeons that I usually talk with, it's a refresh to talk about comics with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm again, guys. I love my comics are hopeful. I'm trying to ape like a Bronze Age style. There's going to be some darkness because there's villains and villains do bad things. The villain in issue #1 did a very horrible thing that a couple of people got mad at. I'm like, when you sell your soul to the devil, you become satanic and you do horrible things. But,
yeah.
But I just like, I'm not going to preach to you. Like I'm getting kind of scared because I have one character who basically is a progressive. And when I tell his story, I got to be true to that character. So people are going to be like, oh, John went woke. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to write characters that have different worldviews. Every character can't be the patriarch with the same exact, like, patriarch. He's a good father. He's a loving husband. He homeschools his kids. He's very religious. If I populated a universe with only that character, that would get dull. So, of course, I have other characters with different worldviews. So I'm a little nervous when I debut another character who has a different political bent than the patriarch. John's woke now.
Well, you could have two characters that have two political views. I mean,
right.
look at the Green Arrow and the Green Lantern comic books run back in the 80s.
Right. Yeah, the hard traveling heroes. That was, you're right. For those of you who don't know, that was Roy Thomas drawing a Green Lantern. And then Neil Adams, oh, what great art, Neil Adams. And what they did was they had Green Lantern as the conservative and Green Arrow as the liberal. And then they just beat us over his head that Green Lantern was wrong all the time.
Yeah.
And it didn't, and nowadays we talk about that's how you do politics, right? No, it didn't sell. And if it sold, it would have lasted longer. Mm-hmm. It almost got the series canceled, and they reverted back to the Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Only lasted, I don't know, a year, not even, and then went back to what it used to be because people didn't want their politics. When the Steve Englehart Captain America run, where Captain America, was during the Watergate years,
yeah,
everybody, oh, that's politics. It sold not that well that they brought in Jack Kirby to revitalize the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that. It was like when Captain America became Nomad.
No, this was years before that. This was around like 76 or something like that. The Nomad run, I think, is the 90s. But
yeah,
but people always bring up those two runs. There was always politics. Yeah, they didn't sell that well. Now the hard traveling heroes, the Roy Thomas, Green, Neil Adams, it's sought after because the art is so good. And nowadays people think of it as a gem. it was critically loved, but commercially bombed. And then everybody always brings up that panel of Green Lanterns in Harlem, and that black guy says to Green Lantern, "What have you done? You're always out in space helping the green skins and the blue skins and the purple skins. What have you done for the brown skins?" And then Green Lantern's all like, "No." What he should have said was, "Are you insane? You asshole. I was out there stopping space fleets. I was out there stopping things that you don't even know about. I saved the world. You get to live. Your granddaughter gets to wake up tomorrow and have breakfast because I was out there stopping stuff that you don't even know. And you're condemning me. You should be saying thankful, you ungrateful old fart." That's the way that comic should have been written. But it was just conservatives are bad because Green Arrow cares about the black people. But stopping space flights and monsters that want to devour the earth and international tyrants, that doesn't help black people. That only helps white people. You see how naive and stupid it is when you examine it from 10 feet above. It was just preachy nonsense. It didn't sell well. You know.
But here's another thing that I don't get. Well, I don't know. They just announced that one of the new writer for Daredevil is going to be Stephanie Phillips, and I don't get why they put her on it. Her comics didn't sell.
I don't know either. To be honest, I don't even know if I've ever read a Stephanie Phillips comic. I got to look back because I quit Marvel and DC in 2015. So when did Stephanie Phillips start? I'm sure I have something by her, but
some of her recent runs were like during the Krakoa era. She did Excalibur, then Psylocke, Captain Britain, and then Captain Britain and they basically canceled her book 3 different times, but each time they gave her a new book. It was the same story.
Right. They did the same thing with Kamala Khan. They did the same thing with Carol Danvers. Stan Lee was a liberal. I don't know if you would consider himself a progressive, and he did a lot of he came up with a lot of women superheroes. And admittedly, even me, I have to admit that the original first 20 issues of the Fantastic Four, the Invisible Woman or the Invisible Girl was just a hostage. Wasp was just an annoying, pain in the neck. And then he rectified that and he made her an interesting character. And then I have to say, Roy Thomas came in when she got pregnant. He just made her insufferable. And it wasn't until really John Byrne made her a cool woman that you all right, she can hold her own in a fight. She's powerful. She's not overbearing. She's a cool superhero. Chris Claremont did all that with all the original X-Men without being preachy. But here's the thing: back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, if they made these characters and they didn't sell, they got canceled, and that went for male comics too. Nova lasted 25 issues. It was gone for 20 years before they brought it back. The original Miss Marvel, I think it lasted 19 issues. She-Hulk didn't last too long. And then when they brought it back, they okay, that didn't work. We're going to get a new creative team, a new angle. But modern DC, it's just Carol Danvers. Okay, we're going to cancel it. We're going to redo it with number 1. We're going to use the same creative team, and we're just going to continue what didn't sell the first time because the customers are wrong, not us. Stan Lee was okay, that didn't work. We got to do something different. I have no problem with that. But no, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, because, you have to like this. Kamala Khan sucks. Stretching powers on a little girl, that could only be made up by somebody like Sana Amanat, who has no interest in comic books.
Yeah. That's basically what a lot of people were well, but isn't she just Mr. Fantastic with a different coat of paint? That's what a lot of people thought when first Miss Marvel came out.
Right. And then she's a little Muslim girl. That would be fun to explore that. Okay, she gets a crush on a little Christian boy. And how does that affect her family? I got no problems with making a little Muslim girl a superhero. and then use that as part of the story, but not like that she's perfect. She's one of the reasons why I made up my character, Mary Sue, who debuts in issue number 2. I wanted to goof on the idea that this is perfection. And of course, me being me, Mary Sue has nothing but problems in her life, as you will soon see. That her problems her powers cause her problems. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm goofing on that. Like, poor girl. People are going to accuse me of being a misogynist for all the poor stuff that's going to happen to Mary Sue. But
well, I mean, a woman who can overcome her own problems by herself and with her own, just with her strength and her own like cunning and guile. It's kind of like what I would see, like with a single mom who can work 3 full-time jobs
Right.
and still make it to her kid's soccer game.
Right. That's my sister. My sister has 5 kids. She married a guy who turned out to be a drunk, left her, and she did it all on her own. I'm sympathetic to that. But it wasn't like reality said, oh, we have to go and help her. Like I almost see no difference between like Batman is a Mary Sue these days. Like Batman's going to fight Superman. So we have to suspend logic and reality to accept that he beats Superman. The same with Kamala Khan,
Well, it looks like she did one good. Well, she's doing one good comic right now. She's doing the Spider-Gwen, all new Spider-Gwen, which is a good comic.
It is. I could care less about that character.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy's dead. She's supposed to stay dead. Now they brought her back from another universe, and she's another Spider-Man. It's like it's. I just could not care less.
Yeah, she's done a lot of stuff for the EC revival. Harley Quinn. I know she did like 6 different.
Like Harley Quinn, I loved the original Harley Quinn. Such a fascinating character. She was the supervillain's Maul. It was a goof on like the 40s gangsters. Mm-hmm. She and it was tragically flawed, and she was not a role model. She was the psychiatrist who was used and manipulated by a superior criminal intellect, the Joker, and now she is this devoted groupie that always seeks his approval and will never get it. She's supposed to be a tragic figure. She's a tarnished thing. She's not a girl boss. She's not a role model. She's actually like the opposite of a role model. She's like an example of what not to do. And of course, they have to turn her into girl boss, and it's not the same character. Harley Quinn makes no sense outside of the context of the groupie to Joker.
Yeah. Let's see.
Now she's in Lesbians with Poison Ivy. It's not the same character.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Crap. Where could have sworn she did the entire Psylocke run, but no. She did a lot. She did like a lot of these comics I have seen either had bad reviews or bad takes. Like some of them, this one heard was bad.
What's that?
Black Widow, Hawkeye, Cosmic Ghost Rider. But like the one, if she's like does a comic book which is like her type of like her type of style, could write a great comic book, but like I don't think she's good with superheroes. I mean, I've read some of the EC comic books, and yes. Yo, what's up? All right. I've read some.
I would like it if Marvel brought back their girl comics like Millie the Model and Chili Storm, and told that kind of story. I like those too. So I mean, not every Marvel comic has to be superheroes, And if
Yeah.
you don't like superheroes, don't write superheroes. Like I think that with all of this pride stuff, people are you can tell all these pride people don't really care about superheroes. They just want identity. So
Yeah.
give me comic books about these girls trying to make it in the man's world. You know what I mean? Models. I think Chili Storm and Millie the Model and all of those characters would be perfect for that kind of stuff. And leave the superhero fans their superhero stuff. Let's definitely explore that.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny NY, I think is one of the ones that she wrote. Is one of her first ones she wrote.
Is that original characters?
Yeah,
And that's fine.
so
I got no
indie,
problem with anybody doing anything with their own original characters.
it's indie. It's an indie comic. Double Within. It's a horror movie. But this is what I don't understand. She sucks at superheroes, but she's great in horror.
Well, that's why I say that about Brian Michael Bendis. I really liked his comic powers for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it's his own stuff, so it lives and dies by him. And then he went over to Marvel and DC, and I thought he was just crummy, you know. So, like, I don't know, like, is she writing for Marvel and DC just to get a decent paycheck, name recognition, and then her own stuff she wants to sell to Netflix or movies, stuff like that? I mean,
no, I think she
not a
does
bad strategy.
Yeah, it's not, but I mean, I think she's just doing this for the paycheck,
Right?
Because they're just she's basically got a lot of she's basically a lot of credit for her own like her own stuff. But when they want to make her they want to make her big, like, but if she goes too big, she'll just be another Kelly Sue DeConnick.
And if you don't like her, don't buy her books.
Yeah. I mean, I will agree that, like, her stuff on Spider-Gwen and her stuff on EC is pretty good.
Okay. I just don't like the character Spider-Gwen, so I mean, I didn't buy it, so I can't. But, I mean, if you say it's good, I'm not going to argue.
Yeah. All right. So there's also this one thing coming out from comics. It's going to be the Energon universe, which is basically the rebranding of G.I. Joe and of G.I. Joe, Transformers, and other Hasbro. They're going to do their first official crossover in February. So here it is. G.I. Joe number 20, Joshua Williamson, art by Andre Molina. It's going to be the first crossover between G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yeah, this is all. Why can't I think of his name? Guy who did Walking Dead.
Yeah, Robert Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman. This is all Robert Kirkman led stuff, and that guy knows.
No, Joshua Williamson. Robert Kirkman's right now taking over Transformers because Joshua Williamson is doing other parts in right now he's doing G.I. Joe, and he's doing other.
Kirkman controls Skybound, which this is all Skybound.
Yeah, yes. This is all Skybound.
Ultimately, Robert Kirkman is the big boss.
Yeah,
which so I trust him. I get almost everything by Robert Kirkman, and I get everything by Robert Kirkman, and I've enjoyed almost everything by him. But I haven't gotten G.I. Joe and Transformers yet because I just haven't. But I've been hearing that this is something I got to read, so I got to check this out.
Yeah, and you should check out the Void Rivals. It's an offshoot. It's an actual offshoot of what is going on in the Energon universe. It takes place in another sector of the universe. You have other characters like the Micronauts and other Transformers from the Transformers movie and the G.I. Joe movie, and it just brings so much together from the other part perspective, like. With G.I. Joe and Transformers, you're on Earth, but with Void Rivals, you're in space.
Yeah, I have, I think, the first 5 issues of Void Rivals. I got to read it. Everybody's like, what did you think of it? And as you can see right here, I got this big stack of comics. And every time I buy comics, I just put it on top of the stack. Like, I really should lift it up and put it on the bottom. So all the stuff that's on the bottom, I never get to. Every once in a while, I get like energetic. You can see the stack right here. Every once in a while, and there's two stacks. Every once in a while, I get energetic and go through the stack, and I feel bad for the poor stuff that's on the bottom, and I raise it to the top. Like I just read this. It's only been in my stack for about 7 years. Munchkin.
Oh.
What's this? Boom Studios Munchkin comic book.
Yeah. It's based off the video. It's based off the card game.
Yeah, I'm one of the few people that's, you can see I got board games behind me. I'm one of the few people that actually still likes Munchkin. You don't take it too seriously. It's fun. It's a goof on Dungeons Dragons. But these literally have been sitting in my pile for I don't even know how many years. I'm trying to see if there's a year. And I finally got around to reading them. And then this, I felt guilty because this has been sitting in this stack for 9 years. What is it? Commandy, Jack Kirby.
Oh,
so I pulled it from the bottom and read it all. I'm like, it's every once in a while people ask me about, I love Jack Kirby, and then I'm like, well, I haven't read Commandy yet. They're like, what are you, a fraud? So I finally pulled that to the top of the shelf and top of the stack and read it. But that, like I just got a new comic today, so it goes right on top of the stack. Screw you, the stuff on the middle of the stack. I'll get to you when I get to you. I really got to take some time off and just do nothing but read.
Yeah.
Not yet.
All right. But there's something you might want to make some schedule for. There's a game. There's a video game that actually is like a live action comic book called Dispatch.
Yeah, people have been telling me about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Here it is.
And this is on Steam, right? Yeah, I got to check it out. So many people have been telling me that it's good.
Yeah, it is a good one. It's made by people who understand comic book games because they've done comic book games before.
You're Mega Man. You're dead, I thought.
This on the inside. My suit was destroyed.
You have a lot left to give. I would like to make you an offer.
This is STN. How can we help you?
You want me to sit in an office and dispatch heroes?
In exchange, we can make you Mecha Man again. Washed up dad bod superhero with no superpowers. Can't wait.
Whenever there's a crisis in the area, we get a call, and guess who answers?
I gotta check this out.
Too easy.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
What are you doing in Visigal? Is that your car?
I don't have a car.
That's gonna be a weird insurance claim.
The way things are going, I'd cut the whole damn team.
All of you in this room have set this program ablaze with your bullshit.
You're right at home behind that desk because you're no hero. You're a nerd playing a video game in a suit your daddy built.
Michael McDonald music.
You gonna eat those Twinks?
That's not what they're. You know what? Help yourself.
What's your name, little guy?
My name's Pete, and I'm naked.
Oh, no, I refuse to believe that's what he sounds like.
So, Shroud dupes you into a trap where he destroys the Mecha Man suit.
All right, so yeah, right now is all right. So crap. you still hear that?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. All right. So this was done by guys who've done comic book based games before. They've done the games for the Walking Dead. They've done it for Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy, and also Phil's Wolf Among Us. And they've all done it. They made it like a choose your own adventure type of game. You remember those books?
Yeah, oh, yeah. I used to love those books.
Yeah, so it's like a choose your own adventure where actions have consequences. So yeah, they did such an amazing job with an original cast and an original idea, and they got some great voice actors like Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. They got Laura Bailey, veteran voice actress, and they got so many others. Like they even got a couple of YouTubers on there, like Moist Critical and Jacksepticeye, but I doubt you heard of any of them. But the writing is just so amazing. I mean, you could even just watch people play the game, and it doesn't bore you out.
Okay.
And the whole thing is like you're the guy behind the desk, so you're basically the Alfred.
Okay.
And
what do they call it? What Ned Leeds in the Spider-Man movie? I'm the headset guy, right? Is that?
Yeah, I'm the chair guy.
Yeah, I'm the chair guy. Yeah.
So like right now, it had right now on Steam. This is right now 28,000 players are playing it. At its peak, it had 124,000. That's all time. And they actually sold over 3 million games. 3 million or 2 million copies. They did not think they were going to sell that much from the day of release from last month to this month. They thought it was going to take 3 years for them to make up that much.
Oh, okay.
And the writing is just is very funny. Is just so funny. I don't know. It like so much of it like just it seems like a sitcom mixed with a superhero drama.
Yeah, there was a couple of shows. There was a British show, pretty much very similar to it. I can't think of the name of it. And then there was like a Marvel comic called Unpowered, and they made like a short-lived, I think, Netflix series, Unpowered. So it's happened before. I'm trying to think what the British show was. I think it was like a bar and there was a bartender. I don't know, but it was like superpowers, but like they were always in the bar, so it's not like you saw the guy on fire and flying.
Yeah,
they were telling their stories.
Yeah, it's basically made for laughs, and the character drama is just so great. I mean, every choice you make with these characters, it just reflects on the story of what's going on. And right now, it's being nominated for best breakout performance, for best indie performance.
That's
all
cool.
right. So there's one more thing I want to get through, and it's about D&D. But before that, you want to take a break?
What? Do what?
I gotta answer nature's call.
Oh.
All right, let me put the where
Okay.
is that? Let me put the intermission screen on. Where the hell did I put it? Here we go. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. All right, so
Well, I got another cup of coffee, so it's all good.
yeah. All right, so we got another. There was this one thing that happened in Dungeons and Dragons, and I know, but there are some like I'll look at this art, and I want you to compare. I want your honest opinion. Like,
Okay.
this arc is good. I said this. Me and Sylph and like Matt, a couple of my other friends, Mackie included, we said this art is good, but it's wasted on Dungeons and Dragons. And it's good art. It's good art, but it's like wasted on something like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons historically, one of their art standards has always been: is this a call to adventure?
Yeah,
this is not a call to adventure. This is I don't know what this is, but like technically, yeah, it's good art. I mean, it follows all the rules. I mean, I don't want to see a fat orc woman, I don't know what they're getting, but I still play Dungeons and Dragons. And orcs are the meanest, craziest, evilest creatures in existence. If you've ever seen the movie Bone Tomahawk, those are orcs in my world. When the orcs come, the only people who don't pack up and leave are the players who want experience points. Everybody else, all the non-player characters, everybody leaves because you don't want to be the victims of the orc. They're irredeemable evil. They're not humans, so don't get your feelings hurt. They're not supposed to be people.
Yeah. So tell me, how is this a call to adventure?
Right. That is ridiculous.
Yeah. This actually got a lot of people mad. Even people who were like in the LGBTQ of D&D, they thought this was just ridiculous.
I mean, the pastel colors, What is that? I don't want to play that game. What, I play that game. What do I do? I'm dancing in the street with monsters. I mean, what is there for me to do as a player?
Yeah, you got the kobolds, you got the kobolds, the owlbear, and the beyonder, and it really, like, what?
Yeah,
where's the call to the adventure with this?
Now, it's funny because Sandy Peterson, who's a longtime role-playing game designer, designed the role-playing game Call of Cthulhu. He did a big post about this, and he's just like, oh, the Beyonder, if you do a close-up, you can see that the Beyonder has like a heart in his eye, because the Beyonder is using his love beam, and he's mind-controlling everybody. That's how evil the Beyonder is. He's just there manipulating everybody in the crowd for his nefarious purposes. Maybe he's allied with that dragon in the back who's about to just strike everybody.
He's just, I don't know, he's probably just like bending himself backwards just to explain it.
Yeah, well, he was goofing on it. But this I don't want to play this game. What is the purpose of this game? I sit down at your table, me and you sit down at this table, and the DM starts setting up. So what's the story?
You're at a festival.
Yeah.
What do? That's basically what I could think about off the top of my head.
Now, like, does it get invaded by white colonizers or something like that? And then we gotta, what is the adventure? What is the call to adventure in this? I don't see what it is. This Dungeons & Dragons, I hate to say it, got taken over by theater kids. Critical Role is the worst thing to ever happen to Dungeons & Dragons. It was supposed to be just. We can't go out and fight dragons in real life, so it was like a fun way to get that masculine urge to go out and adventure and destroy evil, collect treasure, get better, progress, level up your characters. This is any of that. I don't see any of that. Where's the conflict?
Yeah, and this goes to what I've been going through, what I'm talking about right now. Daniel Greene went full mask off on a video, and he is like a big apologist for WotC's current way of thinking right now. So I'm not gonna play the video, but like JD, because I don't like the guy who's doing this, because he is way too up his own ass for this, but he actually makes some good points. He actually brings up like over this all this happened over a Elon Musk tweet. So he's like, so the whole thing just happened over a freaking Elon Musk tweet, and he's like, Musk painting Hasbro as going woke, and he goes mask off. In the initial printings and runs of Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, there were some issues with sexism and racial influences, and he talks about how another media shill from the Atlantic attacked Elon Musk, D&D praising articles for social justice. Greene calls it ridiculous to deny that Gary Gygax was racist. Then he went on into Tolkien, saying he also had some beliefs that don't stand the test of time.
Okay, so Gary Gygax was a racist. Tolkien's a racist. So you know what? Reject everything that they did and show us how to do it and start your own stuff and do whatever you want. No. We got to co-opt this other stuff and turn it into what we want, because we're morally bankrupt. We don't want to do the work. I call that stolen gravitas.
Yeah.
I want it to be something that I want. So I'm going to take your labor and lift my leg and pee all over it and call it mine.
Yeah.
Because and the same people are they use an AI because they can't write novels, they can't make comic books, but they want the attention, they want the accolades, they want the rewards, but they can't do the work or don't want to do the work. And the same thing here. I want Dungeons and Dragons, or I want this thing to be this. So go make that. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take what you like and turn it. So I have no respect for these people. Like with Stephanie Phillips, she made that comic that you showed me that I didn't know existed. Good for her.
Yeah.
Make that as woke and as whatever as you want. Why? Because it's hers.
Yeah.
That I got no problems with. Like anything in Image Comics, I got no problems with because that's all creator owned. Do whatever you want, except for the Energon universe. But it seems like Robert Kirkman is handling that well. I could do whatever I want with my long box comics. Ultimately, I want it to sell. So if whatever I want doesn't sell, I either have to adapt or die. Now, I could be true to my hardline principles and let it die out, or I could, change things and make it. But that's up to me. But if I don't want Batman to be this, then don't do Batman, because that's what Batman is. They did it to James Bond. They did it to Star Wars. They did it to Star Trek. They tried to do it to Warhammer. I don't know if it's successful. They did it to Dungeons and Dragons, because none of these people could create. The progressives can't create anything. They are the orcs. They are Sauron and Morgoth. If you read Tolkien, evil can't create. It can only pervert and change. That's what they are. They are living proof that Tolkien was a prophet.
Yeah, and he also goes into C.S. Lewis. He repeats the claim of multiple times in the video that never elaborates on what his alleged beliefs. Tolkien naturally was a devout Catholic, and a lot what he did with his work, along with contemporary C.S. Lewis, was an act of promoting Christian ideals through culture. If there is beliefs that something that tests the time, Christianity is literally it. He goes on to accuse Elon Musk of doublethink, but also mentions how much he loves D&D and Lord of the Rings and how he wouldn't cancel these authors. However, it's quite clear if there were authors working today, he would never give them any positive commentary of his fantasy news. He would certainly be canceled for bringing Christians and largely right wing to their viewerships, which is actually doublethink going on. So a social justice culture, and this is like he's just this is what I've been saying. People like bend themselves backwards just to justify their meanings.
Right. Good. All right, Elon Musk. You don't like him. Reject everything he's done and make your own stuff. Prove to us that Elon Musk is wrong. Yeah, Elon Musk says things and does things that I don't particularly like, but I'm sure I've done stuff that I don't particularly like. You know what I mean? Like human beings, we're fallible. We're of the flesh. We don't ever. Tomorrow I could have a different point of view than I had today. I'm sorry. That's what humans are. But you know what? Go out and create something. Easier said than done. Put your money where your mouth is. All of these people, you dance with the one that brought you. D&D made millions of dollars courting a particular type of mostly boys. There was girls playing it, but it was mostly boys. Same with Marvel. And it was successful. It's been around for 60 years. It's been doing something right. And then new people come along who just discovered it 5 years ago, and they know better. They know better. I don't know. It's just I wish I had Elon Musk money. I would buy Marvel. I would buy DC. I would buy Dungeons and Dragons, and I wouldn't put him in my image because that would be just as bad. But I would put it in what Stan, Jackson, Gary's.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Yeah, well,
the Rings of Power, restore it back to Tolkien's vision.
Yeah, I mean the Rings of Power is because Amazon fucked up and they didn't get the Silmarillion. They only got the appendices. They didn't get the rights for the Silmarillion.
Thank God.
So it's just like you say you wanna create something that everybody could respect for generations, but the generation won't remember it. They'll just see it as something like as an inconvenience that went through.
Right. Just today, me and my wife, we went to Goodwill and we dropped off a literal garbage bag full of Doctor Who T-shirts. We don't, they chased away. Like I must have spent thousands of dollars on Doctor Who T-shirts and action figures and props and stuff like that. And now I'm kind of embarrassed I ever liked the show. It's become so bad. Like I still like the classic Doctor Who stuff from my youth, but like what are you doing? You dance with the one that brought you. These people like Doctor, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not that much of an old fogey. There's comic books, Marvel comic books and DC comic books stereotypically were for a male boy audience, and there's nothing wrong with that. And as the audience grew older, it was mostly white. I mean, America, it was a majority white country, and I there's nothing wrong with that. They were affluent with a lot of disposable income. They called them whales. Like guys like me was spending in 2014. I was spending $400 a month on Marvel and DC comic books.
Wow.
And then I was just like, I was running out of room. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I'm like, where do I store this stuff now? And I don't even like it anymore. It's not that good. So I literally just was like, clean break. I'm done. And Marvel and DC chased me away. Who did they replace? Did another woke lesbian girl jump in and spend $400 a month on comic books? I doubt it. I doubt it. So
no.
So I mean, what I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong with reaching out to a new audience. I would be tickled pink if all of a sudden people on I don't know Blue Sky decided to buy my comic book. I would, but I'm not going to chase away the people, the mostly conservative audience that I have already.
Yeah.
But I would love to expand, and you try, but keep your core audience. You know what I mean? Like Pizza Hut. Okay. Pizza Hut all of a sudden makes hot dogs.
Oh,
I
heard about that.
No, I'm making this up. If they do it, I just made it up. I don't even know if it's true. But Pizza Hut, let's pretend that they want more people, so they make hot dogs. Well, does that mean they just get rid of the pizzas? And now we're hot dogs, and everybody's pissed off, and then nobody comes because it's still called Pizza Hut, and they don't want their hot dogs, and it goes out of business. No, expand, make the hot dogs, but still serve the pizzas.
Yeah,
keep your original fan base happy. And expand. And if the hot dogs don't sell, okay, switch over to hamburgers. Okay, the hamburgers, they're doing okay, but we got room. Now we're going to try sushi. The sushi didn't work. But that's the way you do it. You don't just like, we're going to piss off all of these people and replace them with nobody. That's what Marvel and DC, Doctor Who, Star Wars,
But here's I know you love your tabletop games face to face, and
I like to play face to face with people. I'm an old. When I play Dungeons and Dragons, we sit at this table that you can't see. When we play board games, I sit at that table. Right now, that table is just covered with comic books. I'm fulfilling Heroic Tales #2, so if you buy it now, I'll send it out this week, and you'll have it. It exists.
Yeah. All right. But one of this is a. Like Halloween may be over, but this is but with holidays coming up, this is like the perfect game you can get with the family. It takes like 2 hours to play and finish. It is from an indie game studio called Blackside Studios, and it is called Don't Look Back. This is throwback of 80 horror movies. Now, this takes place in a town like kind of like Stranger Things, but there's something called the tether, and it actually brings like evil to this town, kind of like the Vampire Slayer and the Hellmouth, but it brings evil to the town, and it's not just werewolves or vampires, it's psychopaths, mutants, aliens, aliens, demons, ghosts. All right, so, but this is one of the best things that I loved about this thing when I saw it.
Have you played it?
I've seen people play it, and I've seen people having a great time with it. But look at these expansion packs. They come in these slick.
Now, is it a board? Is it a board game or is it a role playing game?
It's kind of like a role playing board game type of thing. You can make your own terrain and everything. But look at this expansion pack for the core heroes. Look at it. Just look at where it comes in. These sleek clam video cassettes. It just brings back 1990s, 80s nostalgia of going to the video store.
There's a board game, and it's really funny because it's solo only, called Final Girl. And I made a couple of videos of myself playing it. And the premise is in all of these 80s horror movies, it's always one girl left. So you're the final girl trying to take out. And the thing that I like about it is it's plug and play. So you could take a werewolf, and so you could it's legally distinct from like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and all of those games, but you're basically playing through those movies. It's a lot of fun.
All right. So you got with this one, it's like you can either play it solo or with friends. So you got like the typical like the punk, the cheerleader,
the 80s, the 80s punks.
Yeah, the 80s punks.
We used to call them Quincy punks back then because because from the TV show Quincy, that they always had punks with the that looked like that.
Yeah, so you got the sorority girl, you got the nerd, and like see here, you got the jock, you got the nerd, you got the and you got the stereotypical nerd. You got the comic relief, and you got the law enforcement officer right here. And with each of these characters, also they come with certain killers. Like here is the core killer, and these just look incredible.
Yeah, the miniatures look really good.
Yeah, let me bring up the miniatures. Here they are. Like it's an entire kit bashing set. So like the kill, and this is just like the core. That's just like the core one, but they all have an expansion of 1698, where the town was founded and basically how everything started. But they also have like different other scenarios, which goes on right now. You got string lights. Oh, and when they come out with like kind of like other similar type of scenarios, they will just add a 5. Like this one's called Gourd Reaper 5, the grasping. So here's one. It's like if Dungeons and Dragons became real, it's called Session 0. So you got these two miniatures, two evil wizards. One's a game master and the other was an evil wizard. So it just looks really cool, and especially since it's a small studio like Black Site, they really went all out.
Looks good.
Yeah. And this is another thing you could eat.
I don't know if you saw a private message, but I gotta go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. I guess that's it. We're gonna be wrapping up.
Yeah.
Anyways, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for coming on, Jen.
Thanks for having me on. I'm sorry if I was negative today.
Yeah, it's all right. We all have those days.
Yeah.
But happy Thanksgiving. Keep playing, and God bless.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stream.